The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which individuals with low ability or knowledge in a particular domain tend to overestimate their competence. This effect is characterized by a lack of self-awareness about one's limitations and often results in individuals expressing unwarranted confidence in their abilities. This basically describes expats and passport bros talking about learning languages. Usually Americans talking about learning Spanish, but can be other languages as well. People who think they're experts in language learning because they're able to order beer and flirt with the bartender a little bit in the language. Lots of mistakes, very limited vocabulary, terrible pronunciation. Una cerveza, por favor. Extremely limited ability to understand the language. But then you'll hear them say things like, the best way to learn Spanish, the only thing you need to do, there's always this absolute, the best, the only, this, that. Your experience is just learning a few sentences and talking to people. And your real skill is still like A1-ish. You can't even watch a show and understand it. You can't have a meaningful conversation in the language. Why are you giving advice? And you got people like this. I had a comment, I had a video about immersion and why people are doing it wrong, because no one's doing immersion. 99% of you are not doing real immersion. I've never done real immersion. People like Matt versus Japan do real immersion, but that's a small percentage of people. Real immersion is not attainable for most people. And this expat, passport bro, whatever guy had a lot to say about this. Bro, strong disagree. Ich habe Deutsch und Japanisch gelernt, switches to German for some reason. I've learned German and Japanese. To a level where I can live life in either of those languages by living in Germany and Japan and taking every opportunity to speak and to ask strangers how to say X and Y, always in the language, while at the same time doing Anki, especially to learn and map kanji characters to words. All the weak-ass other foreigners around me don't even try because they're afraid to sound dumb. Bro, no one is going to remember you 10 minutes from now. Just try all day, every day, and a couple of years later, you'll find yourself freaking talking to people. Just talk to people, bro. This is it. Just talk to people, bro. In a couple of years, you'll find yourself talking to people. In a couple of years, you'll find yourself talking to people. Can you have a proper conversation? Can you sit down and spend an afternoon with German people talking in German the whole time? If I had to bet, I would say no. Just talk to people, bro, is a terrible strategy because for a lot of reasons, but mostly because you depend on other people. You have to go out and make an effort and try to talk to people. And the total amount of language you get in from talking to people is not that much. And you always have similar interactions, by the way. If you just approach people in the street and start talking to them, conversation will always go a certain way. There are 3 or 4 different directions maximum that the conversation can go. It will be a short interaction. Well, what's your name? Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. Probably ask the girl the number or something. And that's it. And same thing the next one, and same thing the next one, and same for the next one. Total vocabulary acquired after a couple of years. You find yourself freaking talking to people, bro. Yeah, but always doing the same thing. And the moment you have to talk in any other kind of situations, you're lost. Also, the moment you have to understand anything slightly more complex, you don't understand anything. So yeah, possible bros, expats, massive levels of Dunning-Kruger effect, insane levels of arrogance and ignorance. Not everyone, obviously, but yeah, don't listen to this kind of advice. Just talk to people, bro. Is not a real strategy, and in 2 years you'll find yourself freaking talking to people. Yeah, but badly still. You will always speak the language badly. If you want to speak the language well, do everything else. Memorize vocab, massive amounts of input, use language islands so that when you have those conversations, you do better in the conversations. Translate into the language, correct your mistakes. There's no one thing. This one thing will, no. And that one thing is definitely not just talk to people, bro. It's not one thing that will make you speak well. You need to have a solid strategy that covers all areas and works on all skills, all sub skills. Vocabulary, you need to learn grammar with input, you need to improve your listening, you need to find your mistakes, correct them with translation, you need to work on your speaking in different ways, pronunciation. If you just go out and talk to people, and how much of that can you do anyway? How much time you've got for that? How much energy you've got for that? How realistic is it to just like spend what you're gonna do day game or some weird thing like that? Like just walk around talking to strangers, and that's your system. That's your language learning system.